Welcome to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. Here are the stories that we're following today, July 3rd, 2013. From the Caribbean, a live broadcast on TCN HD on July 4th. Grenadian diaspora invited to participate in the National Health Telethon. In Guyana, $17 million river heist in the Dweeb Kant Ramdas murder. The ex-Coast Guard ranks are sentenced to death. Former Turks and Caicos premier fighting extradition from Brazil. Interpol-led Caribbean operation seizes $822 million in drugs. Details on these headlines and more when we return.
Million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. This segment of the news is sponsored by Total Caribbean Network. Persons in the diaspora are being invited to support a national health telethon being held in Grenada on Thursday, July 4th. Telephone numbers are being provided to accommodate calls from the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada. The Health Telethon is an initiative of the Ministry of Health, which has teamed up with Friends of Grenada Healthcare. The objective is to raise funds to pay for important medicine and medical supplies. Persons in the United States can participate by calling telephone number 718-475-6460. Persons in the United Kingdom are asked to call 01144-1206-598-115, while those in Canada are requested to call 514-600-0382. Contributors to the Health Telethon in Grenada are asked to make their pledges by calling telephone number 435-2636. The National Health Telethon is on Thursday, July 4th from 8 to 10 p.m. on national television. Let's all do it for our health sector. The Scotiabank number is 300-6443. Give generously. The 3 ex-Guyana Defense Force Coast Guard ranks charged with the August 2009 murder of Bartica gold miner Dweeb Kant Ramdas were yesterday all found guilty and sentenced to death by Justice Franklin Holder. The judge had earlier summed up the case, and the 12-member jury returned later in the afternoon with a unanimous verdict after a little more than half an hour of deliberations. The defendants, Sherwin Hart, Devon Gordon, and Dion Greenidge, were found guilty of the murder which occurred on August 20, 2009 at Cayman Hole in the Essequibo River. The prosecution's case was that the men forced Ramdas into their boat and took him to the aforementioned location where they relieved him of $17 million in cash he was carrying in a box of Bartica for his employer before dumping him overboard. Senior State Prosecutor Judith Gildhari Musalin presented the case while attorney at law Lakshmi Rahamat represented the 3 accused. As the verdict was being read to the 3 men, one could hear loud gasps from the dock. From their facial expressions, they all appeared shocked by the verdict. One of the men's relatives burst into tears. The woman had to be consoled by other relatives who were inside the court. While handing down the sentence to Hart, Justice Holder asked whether he had anything to say. Hart maintained his innocence to the court, saying, "I am innocent of this charge, Your Honor." Hart said. The second defendant, Devon Gordon, declined to say anything. Dion Greenidge also maintained that he was innocent. He says, "My Honor, I'm not guilty, and it's unfair for me to go to jail for something I know nothing about." 16 prosecution witnesses and 1 defense witness all gave evidence in the 3-month-long trial. Despite being refused political asylum in Brazil, both initially and following an appeal process, former Turks and Caicos Islands Premier Michael Misick is now reported to have engaged attorneys to fight his extradition to the TCI to face charges in relation to widespread government corruption in the British territory during Misick's 2003 to 2009 term in office. The Special Investigation and Prosecution Team in the TCI has also reportedly retained Brazilian counsel. Before being refused asylum for the second time following his appeal, Misick had offered to return to TCI voluntarily, but only if his family provided a private chartered flight. There are no commercial flights from Brazil directly to the TCI. Any travelers destined for the TCI from major Brazilian cities must change planes and/or airlines in Miami, which usually involves U.S. clearing customs and immigration. And Misick is believed not to have set foot in the U.S. following allegations of rape against him in April 2008 by an American woman. U.S. authorities were also reported to be investigating the fraudulent transfer of millions of dollars to Misick from the Sandals Group using his brother's firms as conduits. Head of the SIPT, Helen Garlick, said in April that Misick will stand trial if he's returned to the TCI. And I quote, "However, there should also be no misunderstanding. First that, however long it may take, if Michael Misick is returned to the TCI, he will stand trial. And second that in the meantime, the trial of his co-accused will continue," she says. The International Police Agency Interpol has led an operation in the Caribbean and Central America that seized roughly $822 million worth of cocaine and other drugs and led to 142 arrests, law enforcement authorities in Europe announced on Tuesday. The Europol police agency supported the Interpol-led initiative dubbed Operation Lionfish, targeting maritime drug and gun smugglers across the two regions. It involved some 34 countries and territories, including some 20 Caribbean nations, as well as countries in Central America. The Netherlands-based Europol said coordination units were based at Interpol's bureau in El Salvador and the command center of the French West Indies Coast Guard on the island of Martinique. During the anti-smuggling operation between May 27th and June 10th, authorities were able to share information and conduct speedy checks against the Interpol and Europol intelligence databases to cross-check suspicious vessels on cargo containers and then select them as targets to be tracked and boarded. Patrols were conducted by land and sea. Regional police, customs, immigration, and naval forces participated in the international effort to combat organized crime groups behind narcotics and illicit weapons smuggling in the Caribbean and Central America. Besides confiscating drugs and making arrests, Interpol said the operation targeting maritime smuggling by criminal networks also resulted in the seizure of 15 vessels, 42 guns, $170,000 in cash, and 8 tons of chemical precursors used to manufacture cocaine. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime says that South American cocaine is typically smuggled to Europe by sea, most often in container shipments. It is usually trafficked to the North American market from Colombia to Central American nations or Mexico by sea and then by land for the rest of the way. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. We will be right back.
5 million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.
Stop the music! It's week 2 of our used car blowout month, and this week is guaranteed credit approval. If we can't show you how to get approved, that car is on us. Log on now. GrecoAuto.com.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with 0 out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with 0 out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.
I can't believe your mom let you take your car out. This is awesome.
It's time to grow up.
You're crazy.
Little while
Faster, faster. Stop.
it'll all be alright.
I raised my son to be careful,
Hey, sweetie. Hey, Mom.
but just to be safe,
So don't you worry.
I got a Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Coleman Subaru, 1710 North Alden Avenue, Ewing, New Jersey, or colemansubaru.com.
Welcome back to Cannes. This segment is sponsored by TravelSpan Vacations. In Jamaica, controversial educator Duran Dixon has won the presidential race for the Jamaica Teachers Association. Dixon won from a slate of 4 other contenders: Ann Geddes Nelson, Francis Malcolm, Stevie Williams, and Winnie Anderson Brown. The JTA says 14,716 votes were cast in the election, and Dixon polled the highest with 9,051 votes. A lecturer at the Miko University College, Dixon had been engaged in controversy after his infamous mongrel dog comment in reference to the education minister over benefits entitlement. He was pulled from the presidential race but was later reinstated after seeking legal advice. Dixon was named the winner of the presidential race following the end of the preliminary counting of ballots in St. Anne's yesterday. He will be officially declared the winner at the JTA's annual conference next month and will assume the office of president-elect from 2013 to 2014. Dixon will be the JTA president for 2014 to 2015. There are some interesting lessons for the rest of the Caribbean region to learn from the road Guyana has traveled, having moved from a deep abyss to a position of enjoying 7 years of uninterrupted growth up to 2012 at a rate of 4.5% per annum. This is the view of Dr. William Warren Smith, president of the Caribbean Development Bank, who noted that Guyana's growth did not start 7 years ago, but that those who have been around for a while will be familiar with the challenges that the country had been experiencing over too long a period of time. And I quote, "Those of us who are from the region have always known about, talked about, and hoped for the blossoming of the Guyana potential," Smith said during a recent interview. He goes on to say, even though Guyana was coming from a very deep abyss, in many respects, what has been interesting about Guyana's experience for me is that once Guyana took the decision to start to address its economic and social issues, there has been a very remarkable and commendable consistency of policy from one regime to another, and it has been maintained up to this point. There is no question in his mind that has been a direct underpinning of the successes today. And in spite of all the pressures, Guyana has been able to maintain that constancy of policy, especially in the economic arena. The president of Honduras, Porfirio Lobo Sosa, has expressed his particular satisfaction at the approval by the United States Senate of the immigration reform bill. The heavy vote in favor of the bill by the Senate sends a very hopeful message to the millions of immigrants who live in the big country to the north, where they contribute with their efforts and knowledge to the economy and culture of the United States, the Honduran president affirmed. Furthermore, Lobo Sosa stated that he's very optimistic about the discussion of immigration reform in the House of Representatives of the countries, considering that the United States is a land of liberty and opportunity that has been built by immigrants from all over the world. The president added that the passing of the bill constitutes a signal of solidarity to the people of Latin America, strengthening further the fraternal relations between the United States and Latin America and the Caribbean, the region where most of the beneficiaries of the reform in question come from. Lobo Sosa's reaction was made known after the U.S. Senate passed the historic bill for immigration reform last week with the backing of U.S. President Barack Obama, which could mean legalization for 11 million undocumented individuals. The National Skills Development Center and Regional Communications Limited, the Caribbean's first and only manufacturer of Celestial branded tablets, laptops, and cell phones specifically engineered for Caribbean nationals, recently signed a memorandum of understanding in St. Lucia. This event, which took place at the NSDC's head office, represents a unique relationship. NSDC is the organization under which the Single Mothers in Life Enhancement Skills, SMILES, programs operates, and 90% of Celestial's assembly technicians are recruited directly through this program. Executive Director of Celestial Solution-born George Benson likes to think of it as a positive advancement for this largely marginalized group in society, which has proven to be some of the most dedicated, committed, and hardworking team members the company has ever hired. SMILES have worked with Celestial for the past year to screen and pre-train successful candidates for recruitment by Celestial. The objective of the MOU was to formalize that process in preparation for the enhanced assessment that Celestial envisions. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. Stay tuned.
Since we announced Sign and Drive with zero out of pocket and low monthly payments, cars been flying out of Bronx Honda at a record pace. Whoa! New Accord with zero out of pocket for $249 a month, or new Civics just $199 per month, or save thousands with 0% financing. You never had to leave the Bronx to get the best price on the Honda. Bronx Honda guarantees the lowest price in the Bronx. Bronx Honda, East Tremont Avenue. Visit BronxHonda.com.
Stop the music! It's week 2 of our used car blowout month, and this week it's guaranteed credit approval. If we can't show you how to get approved, that car is on us. Log on now, GrecoAuto.com.